Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Anthony with his movie Two Bears. Let's take a look at the clip.
Casey, two bears. Sometimes I feel like, what the hell am I supposed to do these days? Mine's all wrapped up. So much shit to deal with. Nobody ever taught me nothing about any of it.
Dad, you're gonna be late.
When am I gonna get my chance, huh?
Hey, yo, you missed the spot.
That's what I want to know. You need someone to fill in, spot.
Who cleans up when you're bleeding on the floor?
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing your fantastic film. Firstly, you're part of our incredible veterans program, so thank you for your incredible service on top of all of that. Two Bears is, I mean, it just took me into a world that I was enjoying so much, and thank you for making this story. But for those that haven't seen Two Bears, tell us a brief synopsis.
Yeah, so Two Bears is a short film about an older Native guy who, he hasn't exactly been, he's lived a tough life. And, he's out of jail recently, he's a parolee, he's a veteran, and he's trying to get his life together. And in order to do that, he's working as a janitor in a boxing gym. And on this given day in the story, he has an opportunity to spar with the champion. So he volunteers in order to make a little extra cash to help with his daughter and his grandson, help support her.
I mean, this story is so great, and the whole set of this story and the boxing ring. And by the way, I want to go into your lead actor because he's brilliant, also served for his country as well. But it was such an incredible story, and people that are janitors, we actually give them the highest praise at New Filmmakers when they look after us here at this venue. But I was so glad you had an in-focus on someone who just you could tell had gone through so much, but has got dreams and aspirations and things for his family. For you personally, where did you where did this story come inspired for, and you want to turn it into a film?
Yeah, I think, I came into this industry really wanting to, say different things than what I had seen, and especially about the Native community. And so it was really an inspiration of, how can I portray and represent the people that I know personally in a new light, and shed light on just different experiences that people have from the res, and also and be truthful both to the good and the bad of and try to tell a story about it and how possibly that can be overcome.
Yeah,
and that's why at the end it's not necessarily like, oh, he's going to be the best person from this day forward. But it's just like, on this day, he was able to make a better choice.
Yeah.
And so it was an inspiration on that, a lot of the experiences that I put in there, I went through, I watched my uncles go through. So it was really just trying to be a truthful story to what I'd seen and witnessed and experienced in representing the res in a new contemporary light, because, that's one of the issues that we have, is that most of the stories that are told about us are, historical or some fantastical viewpoint. So,
tell us a little bit about your actors, particularly your lead, because I could have watched him for days. Like he just gave such a great performance, and you felt everything, not just in his dialogue, but even just in his thoughts. How was that experience for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was really great. I got very lucky with all my casting. I shot it during COVID, so it wasn't like I could, have a million callbacks and meet people in person, and also finding the right Native actor at the right age who had sort of the right feel to him, and that's not easy.
No.
There's not a lot of guys out there who are making themselves known, so you have to sort of find, and I got very lucky that I saw Zoel online, and the moment I saw him, I hadn't got the money yet, but I'm like, I'm going to keep my eye on that guy because I just thought he would fit this character very well. And he had done some acting before, and so I reached out to him when I started, and I got the money, and it just so happened that not only was he great at acting, he gave and he had done the practice and he had done the work to get to be a good actor, but also he'll tell you, and he said it before, that the character itself, really connected to him on a personal level.
Yeah.
Both in his experience in life, but also sort of where he was at that moment.
Yeah,
in his
absolutely.
life. So I think, especially in that monologue, he, I think that's where he really got to sort of let those emotions come out. And that was really the first scene that we shot where, he had a chance to really, and that I had written it, that he could really sink into sort of what he was feeling, what that character's feeling at that moment. And it came out 100%. And then with the physical stuff, he just was great in the ring. Like, I didn't have to do too much. He was breathing heavy. He was, throwing the punches and doing all that stuff on his own. So I just pointed the camera at him. Yeah.
So you did. So how is that? Because I mean, I'm always in admiration when there's like a physical kind of scene like that, particularly boxing. I'm like, how does it work? Because the camera's got to just, like it's. Yeah. I mean, it must have been. What was that process like? Did you have to do any special things for a scene like that? And this was the scene, the boxing scenes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had a stunt coordinator. My producer Annika had a good friend of hers that was able to help. Again, it was all COVID, so we were like he's doing practice on Zoom.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to get them together, him and Adam, who plays the boxing champ, together here in LA for a quick little 2-hour session to practice. But yeah, it's just about pointing the camera and sort of understanding how the story of the boxing scene unraveled was actually the hardest part.
Yeah.
Knowing the sort of the sequence of events and being able to position the camera with lighting. I mean, it was really tough. It was really hard. I had a great DP, Jay Visit.
Yeah, really good.
He knew how to light it. We had that daylight that came in through the door, so that was a part of it. It was a bear for sure.
Yeah.
But we just did it,
Yeah.
And then of course, I just relied on my editor to really, make it.
Because it needs to be, I mean, it's got to be snappy, isn't it, in those particular scenes? So yeah, power to the editor, because they did a great job as well. But also as well, I'm so curious about, again, it was so wonderfully written and a story that I so glad was told. What did you kind of want your audience to take from your film?
Yeah, I would say that I wanted my audience, if I could have anything, is just to walk away sort of understanding and thinking about what don't I know?
Yeah.
And I think that's because, that's why I put his veteran service in there. That's why I put sort of the beauty of the res in there, because I think there's just so many misconceptions and so many things that people don't understand and know about sort of what Native people are going through right now.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to come across and walk away thinking, hey, one, there's a lot of things we have in common,
Yeah.
The struggle with alcohol, struggle with all that, that goes across so many different communities. And I think that's kind of why the Rocky-esque story spoke to me so much, because again, it's there were so many things that people could relate to when that movie came out because of the way he told the story. And so for me, I think there's a lot of things that people can watch this and see themselves, even though they're not Native, they can see a lot of the things, the similar stories there. So really just being open to hey, what don't I know? And hopefully recognizing that we have a lot of the similar struggles that anybody else has.
No, most
definitely. It doesn't come down to race or anything like that. But also, hey, maybe I don't need to say some of those things anymore.
100%, and also put yourself in other people's shoes. Understand the perspectives of how different people are, and particularly there should be obviously a lot more focus, on Native Americans and the things and trials and tribulations that one goes through. So I'm so glad you made this story, the whole family dynamic as well, and this is the fight for your family, and just how much he loved his family, and he was really just trying to prove it. It was all there, so beautifully done, so well done. So what's next? What's happening? What are we doing now? What's going on?
Well, I work in television, so hope there's some projects that look very good that maybe they'll happen, maybe they won't.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm working on. I would love to write another short and work on some and get some features rolling. But for now, I've been focusing mostly in television. So
fantastic.
And working on other shows as well. So that's what's happening for me. But I definitely think there may be some good things coming down the pipeline.
I hope so. Yeah. Well, hopefully with your name on it too. But listen, thank you, Anthony. Thank you for bringing your film to New Filmmakers LA. Thank you for bringing Two Bears, and just thank you to all your cast and crew for making it happen as well. So really, really appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.